Good morning, guys. It's bright and early on a Sunday morning. Kids are still in bed. My mother's watching them. Marla's at work today. Getting an early walk in today. I don't know if there's much going on today. I think we're just getting in school mode and we're getting prepped for that. So we're not going to be doing too much today. I don't know if I'm going with Tim anywhere. He might be going to Belleville, but we'll see. I'm not too set on going. This is a little bit off topic for my channel, guys, but what the hell happened to social media?
Over the past 5 years, social media has gone through one of the most dramatic transformations since it began. The platforms that once promised connection, community, and a voice for everyone have devolved into something much more harmful. Viral stunts, immature pranks, choreographed dances, also heightened levels of anxiety, depression, and the disruption of the very fabric of society. I want to explore why social media has gotten so much worse recently, and the quiet but growing rebellion against it that has the very architects of the system on edge.
Does everyone remember the old days when MySpace and Facebook came out? You'd scroll through and you'd see what your friends were doing, and people would post pictures of what they're doing and stuff with their families, and it was more about staying connected even if you couldn't see the people all the time. And you know, same with Twitter. When I started out on there, I guess it's X now, whatever. You know, you followed people that you knew or celebrities that you liked or sports stuff or whatever. It didn't really matter. But the tone was much more positive and upbeat. It was actually fun to go on in that now, but I find myself lately, I can't stand social media anymore. And you guys can let me know if you feel the same way in the comments below. I'd love to hear it, but there's something about it that every time I go on it, I seem to get annoyed by something, or I see something that is, you know, depressing or upsetting. It's like, and I've got thinking to myself, like, why am I going on here? I'm not getting any enjoyment out of it. I'm getting inundated with ads for shit that I have no interest in, guys.
How do you turn connection into profit? We all know what happened next. Social platforms started to run ads, and ads made them a lot of money. So they scaled the model. Grow larger, show more ads. Get more users, show more ads. Hold users' attention for longer, show more ads. Get more data on who your customer is, their hopes, fears, and dreams. Sell more expensive ads.
The customer of Facebook is the advertiser. What the advertiser wants from consumers is attention. And what Facebook has built is a machine that converts attention into revenue. That is the Facebook machine. Everything about the financial system is set up to hold Facebook accountable for revenue growth. What that does is it aims the entire financial system, hundreds of years of financial infrastructure, it aims that entire system of accountability and discipline at sucking attention away from humanity. That's the problem.
You guys know what it's like. It's like when you scroll through Facebook or Instagram, which Instagram I never really understood. To me, it was just kind of like a different version of Twitter back in the day. You guys may know differently. I know a lot of realtors, people in my profession that go on there and do Instagram and do really well with it. But again, it's like all of these websites are just geared towards making money in business now, and I think that's a big part of it. And we'll get into it here, and I'll explain my thoughts on this. My wife and I talk about this once in a while. It seems to me, especially on X and somewhat on Facebook, but X more so, when you go on, it's like they want to trigger you, and it's like the algorithm has figured out what you look at. The stuff that makes you depressed and angry, that seems to make you click and engage more. And that's even the same with a lot of the YouTube videos. You know, you might be scrolling down, see something about, you know, maybe food stamps or something, and about the abuse in that, and you like get really pissed off. And then if you're pissed off enough, you might comment, and you know, it helps the algorithm out, and it boosts the channel, or it boosts, you know, your engagement on X or your Facebook page or something. And it's all just a huge marketing grift at this point. It seems like being on it, that is the weirdest bird I ever heard. And it just seems like being on it, you're more of a cog in a machine at this point. It's not about, you know, talking to friends or, you know, engaging with maybe a celebrity or an athlete or a video game person or whatever. It just seems like you're simply there for engagement and marketing purposes. And you can let me know if you disagree or agree with that. But that's what it feels like to me, guys. My honest opinion of Facebook now, it's a selling platform. You know, it's for marketplace. You know, people go on, sell their shit. They might scroll through their feed, but even your feed, if you specifically look for people that you follow, it's that you're still inundated with ads and people you don't know and pages you don't know and you've never heard of. And don't kid yourself, these sites are all monitoring you guys. You know, if you're talking to someone and you have your phone, you're probably gonna be like, hey, I saw this thing on Amazon, I might pick up later. There's a really cool thing at Canadian Tire I saw today, you know, like say a hockey stick. I guarantee you within that day, an ad will pop up for a hockey stick on one of these platforms without fail. It happens to me every single day. It's almost like we're getting manipulated and controlled by these platforms at this point. We all have our faces buried in phones all the time and at screens, and it really is unhealthy. And I'll be honest with you guys, when we go walking in the winter time, the only reason we have a phone is in case we get stuck somewhere or lost. We don't look at our phones, we never check them, and it's one of the most refreshing experiences you can have. And if you have a chance to do it, I would definitely suggest doing it. Anything you love, like it's the same when we go to hockey and just being out on the ice and knowing that you don't have access to any of this stuff. It's just nice. It makes you feel like you did, you know, 30 years ago when this stuff wasn't around. And I think for most people's mental health, we really need to start weaning ourselves off of this stuff again. I think that's why society is just so hypersensitive now about everything. You know, it's because you're getting pushed all of this information all of the time, 24/7. It feels like you can't escape it. I'll give you guys one example. I'll give you guys a few examples here. I might put some clips in between what I'm talking about here, just so you guys can kind of understand where I'm coming from. One of the things I really cannot stand, pardon my freaking French here, but the apps for Tim Hortons or McDonald's or Burger King or any of these stupid damn fast food places. So I have to buy a gift card online, register it online, then upload it digitally to an app just to use it. This happened to me the other day with Burger King gift card. We had some stuff left over from Christmas, guys. A couple gift cards. I uploaded one for a Tim Hortons card because, you know, usually on the weekends if I'm out yard sale, we'll stop at Tim Hortons, get some Timbits and a coffee or whatever, but everything has to be digital now. It's even hard to go in and buy a physical gift card at a lot of the locations around here. You buy the card, then you have to go online, register it, they email you a code, then you gotta upload it to the app, and it's just a huge pain in the ass, and it's so stupid. To the apps, guys. Like, why do you need an app to go into McDonald's or, you know, Burger King or Wendy's? Like, and really, you have to understand, all these apps are doing, they're collecting your data, they're trying to form deals and stuff around your buying habits, so then you'll go in and spend more money. It's just a vicious cycle. It's absolute lunacy what we've done here. It is absolutely crazy that we have allowed our society to be hyper marketed on every aspect of our life, you know. But back to Twitter and Facebook, I've really noticed in the past, I'm gonna say year or so, kind of since the pandemic hit, that just 90% of the content I see is negative. Now, I don't know if that's because I have clicked on something and the algorithm just keeps sending more and more, or maybe when you're scrolling you go slower over something and then it thinks you want to see that more. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to go on Twitter and see people getting shot or animals being abused or, you know, human rights violated over in Timbuktu or wherever the hell it is. Like, I don't want to see that, guys. Nothing I'm gonna do here is gonna change anything. I just don't want to see it, but it's at a point where you just can't escape it, and it's exasperating. So I think I'm definitely gonna be limiting my time on social media and just focus more on being outdoors and stuff. And we definitely did do this summer. I'm not gonna pretend like we haven't. We have been outside a ton this summer, you know, So it's been good, but there's still always that, you know, downtime on a lot of evenings and stuff where you're just scrolling for the sake of boredom. We don't pay for cable TV. We don't pay for Netflix. We really don't watch much TV anyways. Mostly just YouTube, or if you get a free Prime subscription or something like that, we might watch a movie on there. But other than that, we're not big TV watchers. I might actually get back more into actually playing video games and stuff and just unplugging from a lot of this crap. My own mental health and, you know, even the wife's, and just so the kids don't see you doing that and they don't think it's normal, because it really shouldn't be normal. You know, if I was in sales, like being a realtor and stuff, a lot of these platforms I would probably delete. Like Instagram, I'd probably delete LinkedIn. Not that anyone goes on that's under the age of 90 now anyways. You know, even X and Facebook, I would definitely kind of scale back on it all. Kind of in that catch-22 where you still have to be out there, but you really don't have to be on there all the time. And that's a thing I need to get out of. But anyways, I just wanted to do kind of an end of summer catch up with all this stuff here and let you know what's on my mind. I'll be making more regular content over the winter now, guys. The kids are getting back into school and we're getting into our normal routines again. Wednesday school starts around here in Canada land. So the little thing we're just going to get into is the actual algorithm itself. These companies know what they're doing. They're constantly updating their algorithms, and this is on any website, not just social media. It's the same, like, you know, when you're on eBay or YouTube or stuff, the algorithm kind of sees what you're looking at and it points you in the direction that it thinks you want to go, kind of thing. I know myself, I have YouTubers that I watch every week or every few days whenever they post. Like a lot of the content, I will just use YouTube suggested video. If I see something interesting, I'll click on it. I don't actively go out and seek people to watch. The algorithm definitely has a big part in this. You know, they really are trying to make you stay on the platform longer. And I think when these sites originally started, when people were genuinely happy and interested and engaged, they were staying on these sites for a long time. I think over the long term, there was probably dips and stuff in actual viewership and stuff on these websites. And they found that if they can put you in an echo chamber and keep you angry and keep you on edge, that you'll keep checking back and you'll engage more, and they can send out more ads and they'll get more ad revenue, if that makes sense, guys.
Even though the usage numbers are still high, public sentiment is turning against TikTok and Instagram. People are starting to hate it.
I've been in a few dark places in my life, and a lot of it was influenced by social comparison of social media.
I was getting to the point with social media where I felt completely detached from reality.
I was more irritated with my daughter. I was comparing my marriage to other people's marriage. I felt more insecure about my face, my hair, my body.
According to a recent poll, 2/3 of 16 to 24-year-olds think social media does more harm than good. Plus, half think that they spent too much time on it when they were younger. As journalist Gabby Hinsliff wrote, "This isn't how someone talks about something they love, but how you look back on a relationship that was in retrospect making you miserable."
There's a fundamental mismatch between the way our brains are wired and this behavior of exposing yourself to stimuli with intermittent rewards throughout all of your waking hours. So it's one thing to spend a couple hours at the slot machine in Las Vegas, but if you bring a slot machine with you and you pull that handle all day long from when you wake up to when you go to bed, we're not wired from it. It short circuits the brain, and we're starting to find that it has actual cognitive consequences, one of them being this sort of pervasive background hum of anxiety.
Really think that's what's going on. I have definitely made it a point on X. I have been deleting a lot of people that come across my feed where it's shit that I'm just disturbed by or appalled by. I just block the account. But you know yourself, there's like billions of users on there. You're never gonna block every annoying account, but you can kind of tailor it to you. I really need to keep doing that for the times that I do go on there. Just use X for basically a news site at this point. I don't really engage much on there because there's no real point. You know, you're just feeding the algorithm when you do. I'm not too sure what the end game for these companies are going to be, guys. I don't know where it's going to go. But if you do feel like these sites are making you more anxious and upset and about everything around you is doom and gloom, you're definitely not alone, guys. This is not just you. It's not just me. This is everybody. Everybody is feeling this. And like I said, there'll be some random clips throughout this just to show you guys what I'm talking about and explain it a little better than I probably am. I'm just a small town guy here in Canada. Kind of a sad reality for our children and stuff too. That's the more worrying part. I think growing up without all this technology, kind of after a while you take a step back and you be like, yeah, I'm kind of being manipulated here. I understand what's going on now. This isn't right. Something is, something just doesn't feel right. Anyways, I'm gonna walk down by the train tracks and I'm gonna get my steps in for this morning, and we're gonna see where the day takes us. Thanks to all my subscribers if you're new here. Also, thank you. Really appreciate it. The channel's been doing pretty well lately. No complaints. And I actually really enjoy talking to you guys and enjoy talking in the comments. Opinions, good, bad, all are always welcome. I will engage with anyone. It does not bother me in the least. If you think I'm wrong or don't like what I'm saying, or if you do, it's always good to have a chat with people all over the world. On that note, I'm going to enjoy my walk. I'm going to listen to some of my favorite podcasts. It's just nice to listen to the podcast when you're going for a walk, and it kills the time, guys. So anyways, check those channels out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.